So I've noticed, I'm doing a stream today, but I've noticed there is some weird lag with the webcam. It's like a whole second or two, which doesn't sound that bad, but it's weird. So like I'll put my arm up in a weird position so I can show you if I move the mouse onto the screen. It moved right across, but then it took like a whole couple seconds for that to show up on the webcam of me moving my arm. Very weird. Uh, but it doesn't really matter. Today, we are going to be working on that programming language. I have my medication. I've had it like all week, but it was well, not was it all? Honestly, I have bad memory. No, whatever. Uh, I didn't have it at the beginning of the week. That's right. And then yeah. Um, sorry. School like feels like it takes forever, and then you realize, oh, it's only been like 2 days, not 22. Okay. So, I don't know. That's just me. So have you guys seen the new Discord forums feature? It's really weird. I was testing it out on a Discord server of mine. It's very weird. It kind of sucks. So one of the great things about forums is you can kind of format the messages however you like, but Discord still doesn't have headers in its markdown, which is honestly just dumb. Like, I get you can do it with the bold and whatnot, but that doesn't make the text any larger. Like, I feel like for forms specifically, it should have that, or maybe have like an advanced markup permission for the different roles. So you can say like, oh, normal users can't use it because that wouldn't really make sense if someone had like this large header text um, in your general channel. That doesn't make any sense. But if your staff member were to make an announcement, that makes sense for them to have it. Why? I don't know. It's so weird. Uh, I can upgrade pip. Wait, is this? What is this? Oh, no such file in directory. That's right. I was gonna do a video on how to write a programming language, and then I didn't because I realized how much effort that would be. And I didn't really write a script or anything, so it was weird. So I'm gonna just open this. Guess yeah, save the files. I was then using it to show a friend how to write a language because they wanted to know. Alright, so today we are going to just remake the type system because this is bad. So I have two ideas, and let me... Actually, I was kind of wondering. This is another thing. This is completely off topic. Do I want to update all these? I don't use Jupyter Notebooks. I do use Pylon, so I will need to restart. Okay, I don't use Rust actively in this project. I don't really use Rust much at all. Find it to be a little annoying to work with. Just hard to wrap your head around for the first time. Plus the fact that I don't usually use compiled languages, so... Like, I was learning Java for a bit, and then... Yeah, well, then it was Java, so... Obviously, that didn't last long. I mean, there's so much boilerplate and random stuff. It's like, man, I could write this in 20 minutes in Python, but instead it's going to take me 20 days. And I didn't really want to deal with that, so that's kind of how it is in a lot of compiled languages. I tried learning C++. That was a bit of a mistake. I've like ported some stuff I've made in Python into C++ to just test performance. And that wasn't terribly difficult, although I'm not confident in memory management. I'm not really, I don't know, it's weird. It doesn't matter. I did, anyway, I wanted to check, uh, this. I want to maybe learn some like keybinds and stuff because I think it might be helpful. Um, The only thing is, I wouldn't really know what I'm doing in that case, right? Certainly, right? Like I don't know, touching your mouse every 5 seconds. I at least maybe want some, maybe like switch. Oh, wait, what? Are you kidding? Oh my god, I feel actually stupid. How do I... I actually feel so dumb. Wow. Okay, well that's... How do I, Is there a bind to close it? To close your tab? Alright, I gotta figure this out. I gotta figure this out. VS Code tab. I forgot what it is. Tab keybinds. That's what I want. Oh. Oh, no, wait, whoops. Are you kidding? This has been an option? This has been an option the whole time? How do I, how do I close the tab? I want to close the tab. Okay, so I can go to specific tab. Oh. That didn't work after the first time. What? That's confusing. I'm debating to install this though, because I want to know, is Vim like worth using? Well, actually, to be honest, I know there's probably a lot of drawbacks of Vim because it runs in a terminal emulator. I was watching a video on this earlier today, and this dude was talking about drawbacks of Vim, but he was comparing to Emacs, obviously, or not obviously. I guess I would. Sorry, let me rephrase, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I just think having some keybinds to not have to touch my mouse so often would be great. I can go to my previous and next tabs. That's kind of cool. Actually, there are some cool things with Vim, though. Can't you, like, skip down a few lines? Okay, how do I... This is totally what we're doing today. We're totally just looking at my keybinds. That's what we're doing today. You know what? Control Shift N. That's what? I guess Control N is just what I wanted. Okay. How do I select the language? How the hell do I do that though? Is there a keybind? Oh, Control K M. All right. Has anyone? I've never heard of a single person ever using CoffeeScript. I don't even know what CoffeeScript looks like. Let's see. I don't think I've ever heard of a person actually ever using Groovy either. Or what the hell is handlebar? HLSL? That sounds like a shader language or something. Jinja? That sounds familiar. Julia. I think I saw a. Anyway. Oh, Markdown. Okay, anyway. Basically, idea is, my two ideas are a trait-based system, almost probably using integer flags. That would be the first. So, trait-based system. So that would probably be kind of like when an AST node has its return type, it's going to, instead of like storing a specific name or anything like that, it will probably be something a bit different. Like its return type will have these specific traits, you know, like this is really bad explanation, but it's like, oh, this is an aggregate. What else? Trying to think. Size, maybe like, or like an element count or something. And then like underscore eight. I don't know, something weird like that. I don't think this would work that great. I mean, it can. I just gotta put more thought into it than what I have put in. My next idea, and probably slightly easier to do, maybe a little more fleshed out in my head, is a basically I revamp my current type system. I make very few changes, and then ret type in there is literally just set to like a class reference. That's it. So it would literally just be the class. It wouldn't be an instance of, or actually it probably would be an instance of a class. The only issue with doing an instance of a class is a lot of things. Is the size of it in memory. So by default, like an object is going to take up 24 bytes, which is quite a lot, and I wouldn't really. What are you doing in chat? Okay. Anyway, so that's quite a lot of memory taken up for very little reason, which is kind of why I want to avoid this. I'm not sure there is a way to, because pretty much every object in Python is just going to have some overhead. But I know objects specifically are going to have quite a bit. So this is probably the easiest one to do, and that's probably what I'm going to go for. Might also continue Googling some of these like keybinds, because I think I don't need all the ones that Vim provides, and that would just add too much complexity. I just want to be able to get around faster. Wait, I can scroll? How have I not known this? Oh my god. Okay. Time to revamp my entire type system. This is going to suck a lot. So I want to change this. So these can't be static methods anymore. And this type enum is useless. And yeah, that's basically just how that's gonna go. I'm trying to think. So let's see. Static. Okay. So here it is. We're going to create just basically like a default constructor. And other than IR type, our abstract type is probably going to have, let's see, what would it have? It's probably going to have like an element count. That's probably useful, because aggregate types, probably actually an is aggregate method, or not, what, property, whatever you'd like to call it. It's just going to be a boolean, so I guess flag would be a better word. I don't think I'm spelling aggregate right. I know it's spelled correctly in the LLVM Lite documentation, so I will just take a look at that, because I'm going to need to open that anyway. Let's see. Type references. Or no, that's not that one. IR builders, I think is what I want. And then, let's see. Oh, aggregate operations, there it is. It's 2Gs. Yeah, okay, so there we go. Let's think. So we want the IR type, element count is aggregate, and I'm trying to think. It might also make sense to kind of have a global variable that is just. I'm sorry. It's been a minute since I've programmed. Sorry. I mean, it's been like a whole week, and I honestly haven't even. Usually, like for the past couple of streams, I was taking looks at the code throughout the week and kind of coming up with ideas and thinking about what I want to do, or sometimes actually working on stuff. So there wasn't as much time between me, sorry, between the last stream and then me seeing the code again. So I don't know. This is not that fun. Trying to think. I'm actually wondering if I even need this to be default. Because that just seems like a lot of extra stuff, and with the way inheritance works in Python, I can and it's dynamically typed, so I don't even really need to specify specific types like I'm doing here and for other ones. I can just say abstract type is the one I want to look at, and it'll allow me to have any of them. And maybe an is aggregate might be useful, but I don't know. It seems like it's just going to take up extra memory. So let's try that, I guess. But yeah, let's just keep it an IR type, and honestly, we just do nothing here. At least for this first one, I can't think of anything that this is gonna need, and by default, like, we just really don't want it. I'm gonna need to change the way things are done. Trying to think, sorry. It's taking me a good minute. Okay. We just don't want these to be static. Convert to is useful. Convert from actually is going to be a class method, if I'm correct. Class method. Convert a function to be a class method. A class method receives a class implicit first argument, just like an instance method receives the instance. To declare a class method, use Cydia. Sure. Okay. So let's. I still don't know why the hell I added this. Also, I feel like op type should not be a string. Although since it's a string that's only going to use 2 to 3 bytes of memory as opposed to an integer always using 4. So maybe it's useful to keep it as strings. Or at the very least maybe like a byte string with only 1 byte, and so then you can kind of like there aren't going to be very many operations. There's going to be, your binary operations and then, comparators and neural math operations, but that's about it. And you're not going to be able to invent more all of a sudden. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I wanted to. Right. Actually, I do need an opinion on that. Okay. So basically, I want to add optional types, and I do need an opinion because if you look at Rust a lot of the time, you'll see like optional, and then it's going to be like box, and then you're going to have my struct or something, and that's a lot. That is a kind of ugly type. So that doesn't. I wouldn't really want to look at that all the time. So my idea was something more like this. Now this symbol is probably not going to be used. Maybe, I don't know. But instead of doing something like optional int, you can just have like a little prefix for it to denote that this is optional, and everything else will not be, I guess you could say, nullable, but I'm hoping I can avoid null as much as possible in this language, because null pointers are kind of ugly. But just simply replacing it with none, like Python does, is dumb, because you still have to do none checks instead of null checks, and that's not great, and so you want to specify that this is not nullable, or this is nullable, and by default, I think things probably shouldn't be nullable, because then you can avoid a bunch of null checks. But if you have the option that it is, because sometimes you do want that, but most of the time you don't, then you can specify it, and so that's kind of the hope here. I'm not sure how well that would work. I was hoping to get opinions, but I'll just leave that up on screen for a couple seconds longer. I don't know why I capitalized it. I typed it on my phone, so I've typed it to someone to try to get some advice on it, because they were interested in the language, so it's just messaging them, but yeah. Anyway, that's kind of my idea. I gotta think, though. So, I'm gonna need to add structs eventually. Like there's no way around that. And so let me think. I have to make a type system that can be used in the future. And I thought I was doing that originally, but seeing as I can't even add aggregate types, like an array, that's kind of saying something about how resilient this actually is. So, I'm not sure. Alright. These should not be static methods. No longer should they be static. Get operation return. That doesn't need to be static, but like it doesn't need to not be static. It's better to make it not static anymore. Okay, so, Actually, I could keep by default things like as static, and if it doesn't need to be static, then no, because I still think that would encounter problems, and I don't think that's very useful of an idea. Okay, yeah, no, let's not do that. Yeah, we'll just replace it with nothing, like that, and so that's gonna cause a bunch of issues. We're just going to copy this here and do this. I just realized. Wait, what? No, I didn't want to do that. Shift Alt is what I want. Oh, I guess you can't select every other line. That's not an option, is it? Damn. I don't know if it accepts like regex in a find replace. I doubt it. So, whatever. It would be easier to use a regex, and then I could just go in and have it do this operation to every single type in the entire language, and I would save so much time. I mean, I'd have to write like a regex string, and that's not that fun, but I'd save like an hour, so. Okay, so the operation is not, then this is, it's a class method. I'm not gonna want to do that. I'm gonna want to just put none here. It's gonna cause an error, but I don't care for right now, because I think it should run. I see no reason for it not to. So, yeah, that's the hope. Anyway, we gotta do this to all of them. It is going to be extremely annoying. For now, I should really only have to do it to the I32 type because it's the only actually implemented type. Floats are caught by the Lexer, so the Lexer sees them, no problem. But the parser doesn't do anything with them, which isn't that fun. Okay, anyway. We're going to want to search for @static method and replace with nothing. Cool. This is going to be weird. Alright, let's... This was a class method now. Okay. I think this is a class method originally. I don't remember. Whoops. Nope. Wait, no. This. Which means we have to put CLS and CLS. Which is fine. Then, what do we want? I have to... I guess... What is this? Oh, right, that's what I'm doing right now. Do this. And there we go. Nope. Alright. I think I've got that done. No, because that's... Right. Okay, that's correct. So convert args is... Oh, why no, that's actually really dumb. That actually should remain static. That's actually not even right. Okay. There. That's now static again. Oh, also welcome everyone who just joined. Let's see. I think that's good. I think that actually fixes that up. But this is going to be used, like it's actually going to be instantiated now, so I'm trying to think of anything that could be useful for that. Can't think of anything that we would need to store. So I'm not going to store anything. An array type, that is useful. So these, or I guess convert to, shouldn't be static. I'm also going to need to go, okay, let me, how do I close tabs? Without touching the little X's, because it's so annoying. Close tabs, keybind VS Code. I really need to just memorize these keybinds. VS Code key bindings. Here we go. That is, I was hoping for something a little better. Okay. Not seeing anything. Is there really no just automatic? That's kind of dumb. Really, really dumb. Delete lines. Yeah, this is really dumb. Okay. So never mind. Is there like a... That's not at all what I expected to happen. Okay. Weird. Okay, this doesn't need to be static anymore because that wouldn't make any sense. And this does need an init. Looks like I already defined it. So it has its own type. And that's kind of interesting. It does need a getOpReturn type function, if I'm remembering correctly. So let's see. Define get op return. Is that the function I want? Right? It should be in type base. Get op return. Yes. And basically, whoops. Oh, right. It needs an operation left-hand side and right-hand side. This actually doesn't need both, but it's kind of great to have it standardized. And we're just gonna say if op equals index, or maybe I should just leave it as idx, or yeah, idx. That actually isn't too descriptive. I'll just put ind, because then it can be 3 bytes and not a bajillion. Okay, what the hell? Jesus, I am just fumbling today. Okay. If it's this, then we're going to want to say we're just going to return self.type. So that's the type of the elements, and our size is okay. That makes sense. So the only thing I am noticing is that to create an array of a certain size, right? If we don't want like nullability by default, because I mean I really don't, then we're not going to allow a line like x equals this, right? That isn't gonna work very well, because we'd have to put a default value, and for something like an integer, that, I mean, that can be defined. Like a default value for an integer can undoubtedly be defined. No issues. But what about a struct, you know, with an integer, and then like an optional, I should probably just name this like node or something. Whoops. And it's gonna then take in node. Right, so for something like that, that's gonna be a bit more complicated. Like, how do I, what's the default for that? That's, whoops. That's not exactly easy if I were to, you know, create an array of these. So there's not gonna be a syntax to just create an empty array. So, I mean, I mean, there probably should. I'm trying to think. Maybe, I gotta think about this. I mean, it's not impossible to create a default value for like 99% of things, or even allow users to define default values in structs. Like, this is considered an optional int. We could say that by default it's going to be none, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, just have a default value. But it would be a little annoying to deal with. So, let's see. How does Rust do it? Rust define an empty array, not a list, or an empty array. So, how would they define? Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so we can have default value syntax. That works actually. So if we wanted to create an array of this foo struct, then we could just say, you know, we create this array and we're going to, no, we do this. Actually, I think I just noticed something. No, it uses like Python array syntax. I'm cool with that. Just didn't expect that from a language like this. Alright, so we can do foo and then like a semicolon, or even any different symbol. Like, I mean, you could use like a pipe symbol, but I think semicolon's fine. It's how Rust does it. It's probably more familiar to people. And then we could say like it's basically like you define a default value, and so this is going to be none or x none. So that's like a default value, and then you say I want 15 of the, or actually honestly 16 is probably a better number. So then like this could be a way to define an array. That would work. This is similar to how Rust does it, because what I was seeing in those examples is like if you want to define 16 zeros in an array, so that way like down the line you could be like 4x, or sorry, no, we already have a variable called x, 4x, or god damn, 4z in range 0 to 16, then we can do stuff, right? We could say like x at position z is going to equal z or something, right? So that way, you know, if you printed it out, it would, you know, look like it's going 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way to 16, right? I think that's probably the best bet for array definitions. So I think that's what I'll do. Yeah. Oh, whoops. So basically, it's just going to be an integer number, and then any expression node if we were to parse it. So basically, our parser rule will look something like, let me see. It's going to be open square, I guess. Let's just call it that. And then then an expression node, and then a semicolon, and then an expression node. But we're going to check this specifically as being an integer number. So then it's going to be close square. And so that's going to be a list definition. But, you know, we'd also check that if we peek at 0, 1, 2, 3, peek at position 3 there, we gotta, no, whoops. Yeah, we'd want to just check if it's an instance of, I'm so sorry, I am, like, flustered today, I guess. I don't know what's going on. It's been a minute since I streamed. I meant to do more streams last week. Okay, so, sorry, I'm struggling today. Okay, let's think about this. So, I'm trying to think about how Rust defines its arrays, because I think that's important, at least in some capacity. Okay. So let's continue working on this array type. So we want to return the type. Yeah, define type. And we're going to want to create a default value. I think it might make sense to define like what happens when you create a literal inside these types. So how is it defined in the IR? Because if we look in utils, oh wait, no, it's not in utils. Where is it? Is it in nodes? Expression list, key value pair. Where is it? Statement list, block, stnet. Where did I put it? Oh, I put it in the init thing. Okay. Well, what this does is it just creates a literal, and it uses the IR constant thing here. So maybe I don't know if arrays are initialized any differently, but it might be worth changing how this works, because I think if we, I guess, create a like an instance of a struct, and that's a literal, I guess. I guess that really wouldn't be a literal. We can actually just have that be different. Let's. Sorry. How do I? Okay, types. How do I instantiate an aggregate type? So. Alright. Let me open this over here. Live stream dashboard. Why didn't that work? Live stream dashboard over here. There. Alright. And maybe put on some music for myself, because this is very quiet. I guess that didn't work. Alright. Vector type. Element is a type of every element. Is that a singular type or what? Like, I'm not sure. Anyway, IR type is going to be IR dot array type, and it's going to have type dot IR type, because we don't want to just pass around. We don't just want to be passing around your basic LVM types, mainly because then that doesn't really define what happens if we do something like operator overloading or even just conversions between things. We don't really get the option to do that, and yeah, we could probably have like a huge function that'll kind of route that stuff into the different place, but that's honestly, why not just use a class and do it that way? I mean, it would be ugly otherwise. I don't know why we do it. Why is Spotify looking all weird? It's not loading, and it doesn't have its logo. That is, it opened twice for some reason. That is, alright. Weird. Alright. Let's see. So put, definitely going to be using a self. Now, how do we push an element? Or, I guess, put an element in an array. I actually don't know. Identified struct. Class or identified struct. Identified structs are compared by name. Can be used to make opaque types. Interesting. I actually think, cause I don't think. No, this is probably still better. Sorry, just doing something. Okay. So, let's continue. I guess I'll open this up so you guys can see it on stream. Get global, get named metadata. Oh, am I in the, no, I'm in modules. I thought I was in the binding layer. Debug info, what does this do? Oh. Like, okay, so like file location. Compile unit. Language. So I can say what language it is. Runtime version. This is weird. That's kind of cool. I don't know what is distinct does. So it actually doesn't tell you. That's great. Or maybe, can I not read? It doesn't say. What does is distinct do? LLVM light is distinct. Oh, no, that's the same documentation page I was just looking at. Alright. Oh, and okay, what the hell is... I hit the back button once, it goes back twice. So, let's find it. Add debug information. It still doesn't say. I don't actually know what is distinct does, though. Like, it doesn't say anything about is distinct. There's also is intrinsic. I don't know what is distinct. It's not going to tell me, though. It's a secret. I can't know. It's not allowed. Obviously. Okay. That actually does seem like good information to have, though. Unfortunately, I don't actually have individual file compilation. It's just a test string, and then that gets put in... It's... Where did it go? Ah, test.ll. So, it just goes in here. Unoptimized. I haven't done any optimization steps yet. I'm just getting the basics down and struggling a little. A lot. But that's fine. Let's go back to the array type. So, we're going to continue to find that aggregate type. I still haven't figured out how the heck are we going to have memory on the heap, right? So, all this is on the stack. It's great. Cool. Other thing is, how do I deallocate memory? Because this doesn't seem like there's a function for that. Because I do have the idea of a manual memory management mode. So, you know, that would unlock a couple language features. And the ability to free up memory would be great. So if I can deallocate some space in memory because I don't need it anymore, I don't know. I guess it doesn't really make sense for functions because I guess, yeah, if you're looking at the stack, right? Every stack frame on a function, like if you create a stack frame for a function, it's going to take up the same amount of space regardless. And you kind of have to have that calculated, I guess. So deallocation would make sense. Because regardless, that space of memory is still going to be accessible. And it's still going to kind of own that bit of memory. Weird. Alright, maybe I'm misunderstanding. I'm not sure. Because the thing just says, it's automatically freed up for you. Don't worry about it. There's no deallocator or free functions here. At least from what I can tell, it's what I heard last for LLVM, and it's just, I don't know, it seems weird. But I guess it makes sense if they're only kind of going with stack-based stuff, so. Maybe there is heap allocation, but all I saw was that you can define the malloc command and use it from like the C standard library in your LLVM code. It's sort of how you do with the printf function. Which means I can do it with a bunch of other functions. So if I just like look into the kind of agreed upon standard C library, then I can get things like file handling and weird stuff. I'd imagine. I'm not sure about that, but I might add the ability to embed IR directly. Is like a function or something, or like a statement. I'm not sure. So I almost definitely gonna have to have the ability to do embedded assembly because that's pretty useful for some applications. So yeah, I might maybe take a rush strategy and have an unsafe block, and you have to Um, you have to use the assembly thing in the unsafe block, but that would be the only thing that you use the unsafe block for, so that doesn't really make any sense. I don't know, but I don't think it's very safe. Like, if I'm trying to not have null pointers, and then you just go in and do assembly, that's not great. I don't know. I mean, that could really mess some things up. So the assembly you can basically do whatever. I mean, this is just the, like, bare instructions, basically. So, maybe not the best. So you can just start modifying things, and don't really want them to be able to modify everything, especially if you don't want null pointers. Actually, does Rust allow you to have embedded assembly? Rust embedded assembly. Here we go. Inline assembly Rust reference. Oh. Yeah, but you do have to put it in an unsafe block. Oh, and you can reference variables. Interesting. Oh my god. Alright, anyway. Let's continue. Let's see. So, where did it go? Array type. Here. So, element count, that is just going to be size. And I still don't understand where the instantiation happens. So, it's weird to me. I could just run this, like, yeah, I mean, I can just do that, can't I? So, let's do this. Yep, that's what I expected. Right. So, I'm gonna need to go into the parser. Actually, let me basically just close everything because it's really gonna bother me otherwise. I do want this. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't need that right now. I don't want that right now. So I just want to go to parser. It's very ugly, but what are you gonna do about it? All right. So, where do I? Okay, so this is gonna be defined as literal, and instead of just saying types.i32, I'm not even gonna want to use that. I'm going to basically want to just have ast types dot type underscore i32 dot. Actually, let's just check something. Imports. So I do that, but and also import AST. So then copy, and that's that. So we'll just define an instance. That is very long, but let's. Oh, I already did that, so I don't even. I can just do that. That's way shorter. So that should do that, and AST types is not defined. Oh, because I have to do AST.AST types, duh. That does make sense. I feel like I should give types names. I'm gonna need to, actually. So utils is there's a type sticked in typebase that stays, and then there might be a user-defined types like list inside of here. Void, yeah, has all that. No attribute name. Maybe I should generate a reversed one of these, so you look it up by name. But I don't think so. So let's like trace that, I guess. So that makes sense. This doesn't need to exist. Let's just call it literal. No attribute value. That actually also makes sense. Because now these are just like raw. We're not getting these from an enum. So that's gonna come up a lot, isn't it? Yeah. It's gonna come up in variable. It's gonna come up in math. Okay, I'm so glad I standardized this, because that means I have to do it 10 times less. So instead of value, we just do this, and I think it's fine to keep this top one in parentheses. Like, I don't really see a big issue with that. So I think I've got that right. Maybe? No IR type. Types object. Why would that be happening? Booleans. Am I correct about that? Actually, I think that's right. These, oh, this too. I forgot to, Booleans are in use. What am I doing? Get rid of all these static methods, and I'll put the ones that need to be in later. Convert to, no static. This, is that a class method, right? I think that's what I made that, and then that uses CLS there. And then get op return. No. It's just a, yes, definitely. Confirmed. Menu program. Obviously. This is static. And I'm gonna need to put self on a bunch of these. Basically all of them. It's a real tedious process. So let me just do that. That's so annoying. That is a static method. And these can continue doing their thing. Okay. I think that's correct-ish, but I need to go to math, and if we look up types, right, that's weird. Oh yeah, void is used, isn't it? Self.position. Why is that a thing? What would that be using? Think I'm doing this right? Maybe? Okay. Let's hope for the best. So, no IR type. In a node, in nodes, pre-eval. 47? In a block. Okay, that makes sense. In loops. That's bad. Right, return type is types.void. That's not what I want. So I want to have AST types dot void type? What did I name this? I just called it void. Epic. Alright. I don't even know where I just was. Loops, right. Void. Instantiate that. Oh, wait, is it just... That's... There. That should work. This isn't gonna work, is it? I just realized a bunch of blocks use this, but incorrectly. So... Let's go... Conditionals? Yep. Whoa, that looks different. That was weird. I still don't understand where I came up with this. Is there a void function? Where did I do that? There isn't. Where? What did I do? How did I get to that? That's a confusing one. I'm not gonna change it because I don't even know what I'd be changing it to. In all honesty, that's so confusing. Anyway, that's gonna just be... Oh, that's right, because now we're checking if it's an instance. Yeah, alright, let's see. Does structural pattern matching let me do that? I guess... No, because that wouldn't make any sense. That wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, I could see how that would be a problem. Uh, okay. We are going to need to do a little comparison. Um, so in our type base, we are going to now need to guess define that. Uh, and let's do this real quick. All right. Otherwise, this is going to cause a lot of problems. Let me just make sure it's not an easier way to do this. Python check if a class is... Or sorry, check if two objects are the same type. Yeah, that's correct. So I would use is instance. No, but that's... Okay. Apparently, I can just return type of self is type other, which will make sure that they're the exact same type, instead of, just being like a class or something. They'd have to be the exact same. So, I guess we'll do that. Realize instantiating itself is probably not a property you want of classes. That's fine. That's fine. Let's see. If we check if two arrays are equal, it's gonna be weird. We probably want to define like a standard function for that. I'm not sure. Actually, is anyone still in the chat? Because YouTube has some weird analytics where it's like it'll be out of sync a lot of the time. Like the graph will be out of sync of the current viewers number, and I'm not even sure if the graph is accurate. So I don't know. Let's just type in the chat if you're still there. Also check. No one's texted me. Cool. Thought Crazy would have texted me because he hopped into the chat for a little bit. So, I guess this is more like a statement than an operation, but we're gonna do that anyway. Right. Okay. So, I also might define an expression node. Or no. Let me think. So in AST node, what I might do is kind of have almost like operator overloading, I guess, but not really. I kind of just want to pass along, if you do an operation on its return type, instead of actually having to access its return type and then do that, you can just say, I want to do addition on it, and it'll automatically run the addition method of its return type and put itself as a left-hand side argument. If that makes any sense. Like, it'll automatically fill in the function and then the left-hand side, and you're good. I don't know. Or it probably wouldn't automatically fill in the function. Well, yeah, it kind of would, but kind of wouldn't. Anyway. It doesn't really matter that much. In all honesty. Let's... So, it's saying types, actually. You know what I should do? I should just comment this out, because that'll tell me exactly where I've been using it. Ah, it turns out everywhere. Okay, what did I do? Because I import it as well. I've imported everywhere. Right. Okay. Types unknown. What I can honestly just do is put -1, and we're good. That's fine. Types void, instead of types void, I can just have AST types dot void. I do have to import that though. What? Alright. Interesting. Okay, cool. That doesn't... But it does, which isn't... That's gonna be a circular import, isn't it? I guess if I don't get there yet, it's not a circular import. Okay. Loops. Right. Alright, and then going to need to not equals. It is not. Oh, no, I want this. Makes sense. Maybe I should have names for these things. Or alternatively, I'll just keep a -1. There. Alright. I think this should work. Where else is this happening? Oh, that makes sense. Where else? Conditionals. Cool. It's still that. That's not good. I guess I never changed it. What the heck is wrong with me? AST types dot. And then I want void, right? Yeah. Looks correct. Ah, errors. Epic. Makes sense. So I'm gonna want to do height-based dot type stick. That's what I called it. Alright, I think it's correct. I am going to want to import that. Why does it say no code actions? That makes literally no sense. Where am I doing weird stuff? That's not what I want anymore. Neither is that. Hmm. Yep, that either. Self dot value. Right, no, that actually makes sense. Then that also makes sense. What am I doing? Alright, that's also correct. I think that looks good. Right. Run it. Alright, that looks like it's getting less errors, maybe. I was thinking that last time, but I ended up being wrong, so... Can I... I can't... Why is it not letting me just import like a normal person? Or honestly, I just want to import AST types. So... There. Oh, that is awful. No. What does validate type do? This is confusing. Why is my code so awful? Just object instantiation is a pain. Hmm. I might want a dot EQ method, don't I? Maybe. I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Had to just do some stuff. Well, I do not listen to this. Alright, that's a little better. Okay. So, my puppy, what are you doing? Why are you such a nerd? Good boy. Alright, anyway. Sorry, it's a really cute puppy. I can't help it. Let's see. That's right, it's the last possible one. What are you doing, puppy? What are you doing? That's not what I want. I didn't ask for... Oh. Right. That's what I want. I don't know what to do. Unhashable, that's right! That's not hashable. How do I fix that? I'll have to write a hash function. Okay. I'm gonna eat this and research a little bit. Alright. Let me turn my webcam back on. What are you doing, puppy? Why are you looking at me like that? Anyway. Oh, that I wanted to do that for all types. Just realized this can be the unknown type. Yeah, I'm a little slow. Okay. Um, gonna literally just search the whole project for -1. Right, I use that everywhere. Okay, that worked. Hopefully. Let's, how did I do this? Right. Key value pair type. Type. Just do that. Return type. That is fine. That's right. That's a string. Hmm. Gets rid of that problem. Right. Um. What? Oh. There. That's a lot. I don't think that's even done yet, is it? And also, gotta give all these names. That's right. I forgot all about that. Okay. Okay. Let's... Maybe I should just refer to these by name again. The only issue is it doesn't work 99% of the time, so... Because when you type with a different name or different attributes, it's not gonna handle that very well. Um... Let's see. Um... Forgot what I was doing. Sorry. Let's see. Oh, right, that wouldn't work. There we are. Okay, what is it? Oh, right, this needs this. What are you doing, puppy? Alright. Give me like 2 seconds, puppy, I'll go get you dinner, alright? Alright, yeah, I'll just do that. Alright. I will be right back. I'm gonna go get my dog dinner. Actually, how long have I been streaming? I honestly think I should just stop streaming because it's kind of a lot of pressure trying to be entertaining and then genuinely think about how to structure this problem in a way that makes sense. And I'm doing a lot of grunt work, so I'm gonna go and first off feed my dog and then I'm gonna work on this. And I will probably make videos instead unless I have something interesting to stream. So, see you later. And maybe start on GitHub if you actually want to see something interesting happen, join the Discord, whatever you really want to do. It doesn't matter to me. You can subscribe to the channel, hit like. Again, I don't care. So, go about your day, do whatever you want.